There we go. I almost tripped for the record. This is Maggie.
Ciao Bella.
Anyway, we're in Colle di Val, and Colle di Val is this beautiful medieval village that is behind me, consisting actually of three parts. So of what you can see here, we have the Borgo, and then we have the Castello down there. We're going to meet with Massimo in the Castello, that's where he lives, and he's a Collegiano. And then we have the lower part of the city, which we won't be visiting.
Colle Val is quite a special place to me. I lived just outside the village for around 10 years, so I feel a certain belonging. Colle gets very few tourists as it is overshadowed by the nearby and very touristy San Gimignano. So if you want to get off the beaten track and visit a quiet town with amazing restaurants, watch this video.
So we're starting at the very beginning of the village. Here we have the ex-hospital, which around 10 years ago was converted into a 4-star hotel called San Lorenzo. It's really very nice. It's a 4-star. And so this is a good place to be staying if you visit Colle.
That's for sure.
And
Especially
here,
on a day like today with the pool.
we wish we were in that pool.
Oh yeah.
Here, on the other hand, you have a big, huge cistern, cisterna. The idea was that the water was collected up at the highest point of town, and then through a underground system, it was distributed down to the rest of the village. Cisterna. So now we can choose to go two ways. We can either go down this way where the traffic also goes, or that way. I would say we go this way for now and then we come back up that way. That way we try both. And also because I have to point out a couple of things on the way. Oh, by the way, this is a tabacceria. This is where you get everything from tobacco, but you can get pretty much everything like souvenirs, postcards, lottery tickets, everything. So each village will have a tabacceria, at least the bigger ones like this one. Here is a wonderful little jewelry maker. I actually got my engagement ring from here.
Did you?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's not open yet because it's not quite time, I guess. Oh, it is open. Is it open? Yes, it is. Oh, it is open. Ciao! Come stai?
Bene, grazie.
Bene. Tutto bene, ce l'ho ancora, eh?
Grande.
Ah.
Ciao, buonasera. Ciao, buonasera.
Lei è Maggie?
Sì, Maggie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Piacere.
Scusa. Ok.
Ah,
Perché sto al fresco.
fai proprio bene.
C'è problemi.
It's very nice and cool in here. But
Yes.
is there air conditioning?
No,
It's just cold.
Sì.
Kind of cold.
So,
Cooler. And this is the lab where all these wonderful jewelry items are made. So, all made in-house. So if you come to Colle Val, you've got to stop by. Because everything is on demand, on request, like she
Right.
does
custom
pieces,
right.
yeah.
Right.
But
How beautiful.
yeah. So we're going to pass by the town hall, the Palazzo Municipale, and I wanted to point out, for those of you who may have noticed, here's a wine window. Yay!
They aren't all in
Yeah,
Florence.
no. And
Love
this one's
that.
really cute.
Look at that. Just
This here is the town hall. This is where, well, the most important event that ever happened in Colle Val is that me and Pierre got married here. Cute, huh?
I love that.
Let me just show you. So this bridge that we're on right now used to be a drawbridge back in the day when you wanted to keep people out. So the castello starts here. And over here you'll see a very modern building. It is the new building, the new home of the Arnolfo 2-star Michelin restaurant. We found Massimo.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, we're so happy to be here. Where's Maggie?
I'm right here.
So, welcome to
Colle di Val
with Massimo. Massimo and I have known each other for over 20 years.
30ish.
30ish. Don't say that. Gosh. And he is, well, you used to be sort of the Count of Colle in my eyes, because Colle is really part of the texture of your whole human being, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So I thought it would be super fun to walk around Colle with Massimo, who's going to tell us a few stories about the village, the history, some of the local fairs going on, and just some reality that comes to mind here in Colle Val.
I will happily do it.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go for it.
Andiamo.
So basically, this is the oldest part of the city. This is called Il Castello, the castle. Originally, it was the last stronghold of the city, and is actually built on a fortified Roman villa. So this part of the city is dating back for sure at the time of the Romans. But we have some evidence that also Etruscan people were here. Some Etruscan tombs were found in some cellar inside the castle of the city. The palace you see now, it was built around the 16th century after the original gate that stood here was destroyed during the siege of 1468, along with some of the fortification around it. From here we enter to a different world. While if you look in that direction, you see that the space is open, you have buildings that are, let's say, more recent, so we're dating to the 1700 or 1600. From here on, everything is almost still as it was during the medieval time, exception made for the cathedral and for some other palaces. Come on, let's get in. This palace is called Palazzo del Campana. It was never finished. The owner of the palace ran out of money, so the noble floor, as you could see from outside, is not as tall as it was meant to be, and one floor is actually missing, unfortunately. Here they still have the garden, the original one, which has a nice fountain inside. Unfortunately, it's private and there's no way to see it at the moment.
Too bad.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Maybe I have an idea.
Ce la fai?
There you go.
I don't know if you saw anything. I couldn't see it.
This fountain here, it's one of the last fountains still in function here in the city. Originally, there was a fountain every 50 meters. This fountain, when I was a child, was working like this. We had to pump the water up and down, and the water was coming out from here. The water is still fresh and is still drinkable. The name of this fountain is Covery. Due to the name of the captain of the city, they asked for it and realized it. Here you still have the crest of the captain and some bricks with some carving, reminding when it was done and why it was done. The way you see it now is coming from the 17th century, when they decided to cover the fountain to avoid leaves or other things to fall inside the water.
Super cool.
Si passa qua sotto. As I was saying before, the city has got a really long history. So we start for sure with the Romans. We have some evidence of the Etruscans, so we can say around 2,500 years ago. And along all of this year, the city has been raising level on level. Sometimes the houses were destroyed, some other times they were built arches like this, creating this kind of tunnels. And this is the only one open to public. It's actually a road and you have people living in there. And the floor that you see here is the original floor from the 1300, actually not the stones, but the level. You have some other entrances. One is from a restaurant here that can allow you to go and see some squares, some churches that remain hidden and enclosed under the ground.
It's amazing.
This is still for sale,
This one's for sale. All right.
but it's not really nice. There is one of the town hall. You have to fix it.
You do have to fix it.
Ooh, it's hard to see anything. Let's see, down here I can get in.
Okay.
Don't drop the camera.
It's a little fixer-upper.
Uh-huh. Have to get
Started with the floor.
and doors.
And doors.
So here we are in the Piazza del Duomo. The way you see it now, it's a fully Rinascimental square with the fountain, the cathedral, the palace of the captain of the army, that originally was a kind of a fortress, a stronghold, because Colle for about 20 years was a principato. It was independent and we had this person ruling the city and trying also to hammer coin as well. The cresties you see there, they are all the captains of the army that have been in charge here for the city. The square as you see it now is the result of destroying and obliterating some towers that were here. Actually 3 towers stood here. You can see the basement of one inside the cellar of the palace and the others that were probably around here. You have to consider that during the medieval time, Colle had probably more towers than San Gimignano.
No way.
Yeah, more noble families, more towers. The difference with San Gimignano is that San Gimignano didn't have an evolution, let's call it like this, during the Rinascimental period. So that's why you don't see many palaces and many new buildings. Here, the towers that were cut down and reused to build the palaces and the buildings that you see now. At the place of the fountain, there was a head of a horse, which is actually the crest of the city. And the head of a horse is believed to be part of a Roman fountain. Now it's preserved inside the archaeological museum. The archaeological museum of the city is one of the richest in Tuscany for the amount of materials we have been able to save and collect. Unfortunately, it's closed for some restoration and fixing. And it's a shame because there are some really, really nice objects. Nothing special, nothing like, I don't know, the Ombra di San Gimignano, but we have some other stuff that has got quite a big interest, you know, for history and for art. This palace here, it's the old town hall. It was turned into a school. Before becoming a school, it was a private house. At the ground floor, there was a bar with an ice cream shop until the early 20s. Then it was turned into a school, elementary school and kindergarten, and lasted as a kindergarten and as a school until 6 years ago.
No longer a school?
Now it's empty. They're trying to find someone that wants to fix it and make some kind of hotel, some kind of place to host tourists.
Business idea.
Yep.
Yes.
Can you see that big crest there where you see an animal holding a shield?
Yes.
Well, that animal, it's a galorcha. It's a mythological animal that you find only here and has got also a name. It's a Bella Guelfa and is the name of this animal which is holding the crest of this part of the city. The 4 crests on top of the galorcha are the crest of the population, and the 3 others are the crest of the tertiary of the city. This city was split in 3 parts, thirds, tertiary. This is the Palazzo Pretorio. It was really important for administrating this part of the city, and it's actually really special because these kind of frescoes that you see are called Florentine scratches, and this is one of the few examples and best preserved example that is original. All the others, they were rebuilt or redone after the discovery of Pompeii.
Is this the same kind of art that they refer to as graffiti?
Yeah, graffiti fiorentini. That's what.
Scratches.
Scratches. Yeah.
Because that's what graffiti means.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
This is Teatro dei Vari. It was built at the beginning of the 13th century, and it's got actually a funny history because two families that start following the preaching of the first monks from San Francesco, before San Francesco was considered to be a saint person from the Vatican, from the church. So to purge themselves for following the preaching of these monks, they had to buy 3 towers that were standing here, destroy the towers, and the place of the towers build an ostello, ostello for tourists and for hill people. Then in the century it became, as you see it now, a theater. And inside it's like a dolly theater, you know. I don't know if you remember this small theater from the 1700 with all the little arches and everything. Inside is like that. Nothing has changed. This one that you see here, it's the oldest church in town. It's actually built on a Roman or maybe Etruscan temple. And if you look at the stones going down through here, you will see that there's got huge stones. Under this church, there is another church. And the funny thing is that there is a fountain inside the church.
Oh my gosh.
Then the temple was turned into a church and has been transformed several times during its existence.
Okay, you can see all the different, once upon a time, openings, perhaps.
Until the 1800, here you had a gate, a door, with some stairs going up like this.
Oh, wow.
And this door here is taken to the fountain.
Oh my gosh. This door here?
Yeah. This one here in the corner was another tower. You don't see it really clearly, but you can see the corner there and the other corner there.
Okay.
This tower here is considered to be il castello dell'abate, so the castle of the monk, because before we were into the Roman part, here it was a part that was built around the 9th century by the church that was working the lowland, the flatland here. And this one here was the tower called castle, and the church, of course, belonging to it.
How many people live here now?
In this part of the city, 174.
Okay. Wow. 174 people?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, people that are actually living here. Then we have the people coming in summer, and but it's empty. If you consider that when I was a baby, from the gate where we started until the Baluardo where we will end, it was about 2,000, maybe more people living. So,
From 2,000 to less than 200.
but I mean, living here, I'm quite happy about it because we don't have a lot of mess, a lot of confusion. If I want to let my sons play out, they can go and play without having someone looking after them, especially because the old people, they're already looking after them, as they are looking at us at the moment. You don't see them, but they're behind the windows.
Security.
Yes.
There's nothing better than Italian security.
We are at the beginning of the 14th century, late 13th century. And the town hall is saying that the family with money, they need to build houses. So these two families are enemy family, but they need to build a house one next to the other. So since they don't want even the wall to touch the other wall, they leave this space, which is called bad neighborhood, mal vicinato. And you find several here in town. This is the Torre d'Arnolfo, or believed to be the house of Arnolfo di Cambio.
Arnolfo di Cambio was an important architect in the late 1200s, and he worked on important projects in Florence, such as the cathedral and the Palazzo Vecchio.
If you look at it, you have solid stones in the lower part and bricks in the higher part. The architecture is different because quite surely the lower part is actually built as a military structure and then change into a civil habitation or house or something.
Right, okay.
If you go to the other side, you will find out that you have some small windows for shooting. This is the Baluardo. This is a stronghold, and this place was controlling basically all the lower part of the city. This tower had this kind of windows,
Okay.
and if you look at the opening inside, you can tell that they were done to shoot in this direction, and this one here to shoot in the direction of the gate.
Super smart.
And look what you have there.
There we go. Here's another
What
one.
might we have?
How about that?
Oh, wow. Number 4.
There is more.
There's more.
Yeah.
I love that there's more.
This church is called the Church of Ghosts. It was abandoned at the beginning of the 20th century because it was believed that there were ghosts inside. And it was part of the monastery, which all this building until the end it was the monastery. And there is a part of it which belongs to the town hall, which is for sale. And it's great, you should go and see. 80,000 euros, you have 400 square meters of garden on the city walls, plus around 500 meters of apartments on 2 floors. A lot of reconstruction to be done, but really, really nice.
Oh, look, another wine window. I've asked Massimo what his favorite restaurants in Colle Val are.
Arnolfo for sure. Then you have Osteria Bis, then Frantoio. Then you have Sapia for sure. Those guys are doing great. Yeah, these 4. This one here, what is this according to you?
It's not a wine window.
It's not a wine window.
It's not.
It was something different. This place, there was a bakery. And in winter time, to help the temperature, the warm inside, they were giving the bread out of this window.
Part of what makes the villages so special is the artisans who dedicate themselves to local arts. This is Jackie, who makes ceramics and lamps, and I couldn't resist and got a candle wall lamp for Camposasso. I asked Massimo if he would recommend Colle Val as a place to live.
It depends. If you're looking for life going fast, well, this is not the right place. If you want to enjoy the spare time you have, if you want to enjoy good food, good weather, good wine for sure, this is the right place. This is a place where you can go to a terrace like this one, sit down and have one of the best glass of wine ever. And you can go to a restaurant, you can go whatever and always enjoy the best service.
Shall we do that?
Well, we should for sure.
Let's go get a glass of wine.
All right.
Caffè. Grazie. My favorite. My absolute favorite. These are my favorites. Yes. Salute. All right. Grazie mille for your time today.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Thank you so much for joining us in this video featuring Colle Val and Massimo. Thank you, Massimo, for showing us around.
Thank you for visiting my city.
And come here in person next time you're in Tuscany.